I'll do that today, as a matter of fact. And in 3, 2, 1, live. Welcome everybody to Digital Asset News. Take the top stories in cryptocurrency and break down bite-sized pieces. But really what we're doing is doing a little Trinity trading. First of all, thanks for sticking with us. We're a little late. We went a little bit overboard over on the Alex Mascioli show, where we talked about the most important stuff of all time, how the U.S. government has banned Bitcoin, how RuPaul came out as Satoshi Nakamoto, and I got nothing else after that. No. Sorry, we just took a long time. We apologize. So today, just like the thumbnail said, we're going to talk to you about our next big pick. And really what we try to do here in Trinity Trading, which first of all, digital asset news is mostly for just the news, what's going on in the day-to-day operations, just to kind of get people the feel of what's going on without them having to do a ton of research because everybody's busy, right? But every so often, we used to do this every couple of weeks. Now we do this once a week only. We do what's called Trinity Trading, where we take the best sentiment analysis from Trade the Chain, which we've got Alex Mascioli, co-founder of TTC. He takes a look at the top sentiments out there because that's what really moves the market these days. We can look at a lot of different things, but a lot of things are moved by news and sentiment. And then Alex gives us a winner. If that looks pretty good, we go through CJ Reichel, who is one of the great guys over there at Market Rebellion for technical analysis and unusual options that they like to teach, which you can sign up for only $1, which is insane, and then learn from some of the best. He takes a look at the technicals and says, yes, this is something that we should do. And I take a look at the fundamentals or what's going on recently, which could have contributed to these pumps and continued increase in price action. So without further ado, let's get to it, shall we? And actually, before we start, I should ask everybody, can everybody hear us and see us? That's the big thing. Okay, well, I can see me and hear me. That's all that counts.
All right, very cool. Yeah, you kind of dropped the surprise to everybody on the other episode on what we are looking at, but it's okay because right now we're, one of the things, it's a very mixed market. We're looking at daily sentiment at the moment in descending order. And so let's see here, give everybody a peek. This is daily sentiment in descending order of what the most very bullish going downwards is. And so that's really interesting. And I'll give everybody a peek at the bearish. These are the most bearish. Look at that, Cream Finance. Oof. IOTA.
What?
Yeah.
IOTA. What the heck happened? They were like up big time.
Yeah. Look at basic attention token for the daily. So it's interesting stuff. Now, one of the ones that we were looking at was REN. And you can see REN right here on the screen. You can see the 1-day sentiment as well as the 7-day sentiment to the price. So the blue is going to be price. The green and red is going to be sentiment, and how you can see how it correlates to the price, either as a leading or trailing indicator at any given time. And then down here, you can see what the 1-hour change is. One of the things that's interesting about REN is it had a great daily sentiment. So I'm looking at it for right here. You have a very bullish score 82. You do have a large 26.8 on the daily for price-wise change. But one of the things that's interesting is you have the relative tweet volumes 148%, but the relative trading volumes 121%, which is really good because there's participants in the order book right now. And even the projected 1-hour range right on the intraday right here is to the positive. So Republic Protocol, REN, that is what the selection is as far as what the market is looking like today. And this is going to be a short-term, I would say 72 hours or less.
Okay. And then real quick, for people that are new and haven't seen Trade the Chain, how do you get those numbers? I mean, out of thin air, or how does that work?
No, absolutely. So what you do is you take a look and you look at the average tweet volume, and you can, so it's all based on a formula. So average tweet volume is a measure of the 30-day average and how many tweets are on a particular coin. And so what it's doing is it's going through and it's contextually scraping the social media, and it's removing the bot, the pump and dump account. And so that's how it's coming to a contextualized score, and giving it a rating for, whether it's a leading or dragging indicator on the daily or long term.
Gotcha. Okay. And then those numbers there in the middle, that 4% that we're looking at, that's with 90% accuracy, right? Somewhere around
so
there?
the 1 hour projections right here that you're talking about. So these are going to be, you take one, like, let's say, there's a Rob favorite. Data fuel. And so right here, it's a projected 1 hour range based on the scores mixed together. And it's showing a 1 hour projection of 8.12% to the top side, a negative 1.71% to the bottom side within the hour. And this is the mean. So this is the weighted mean score, and it's plus 3.21. And this is progressive. So folks, when you're watching this score right here, this score can go up or down throughout that hour, but it's a great monitoring tool. So it's really interesting to see, and it's accurate to 93%.
That's crazy. All right. And if you're looking, and of course, all the links are in the description, everything from Market Rebellion to Trade the Chain. So you'd go to the right address if you want to check it out. But so it looks good. We're looking at REN, right? That's what I talked about in the thumbnail. And then CJ, what do you got for technicals? What are we looking at?
This one's interesting. Don't know a whole lot about the fundamentals behind REN, but I know just the technicals are looking very interesting, and I'm excited to break those down for you.
Cool. Let's see it, man.
And just so you know, I mean, REN is one of those where I just went based off of literal sentiment and took a look at the charts, but it wasn't a position previously held.
Got it.
Okay, so just from first glance here, I really love the fact that this is massive volume, very significant above average volume. You may be able to see this kind of faint white line here. That's the moving average of the volume. And as you can see, we're way above that. I think on the Trade the Chain dashboard, there's like an increase of about 126% in terms of average volume. So that's great from a bullish perspective. Additionally, I want to talk about the DMI indicator because there's two parts, and that's essentially what you're looking at in these two bottom indicators. So the first one with the DMI here, you see these two lines. This teal line is reflective of negative momentum within the trend. And when this is above the bottom yellow line, that ultimately shows us that, hey, the trend is being controlled by the bears right now. And the inverse would be true if we had the yellow line on top. That would say that the bulls are currently controlling this market. And what the red line measures up top is the strength of the directional trend, whether it be positive or negative. So this is a number that's always going to be positive, but what you're going to want to look for in the ADX, this red line, are fall-offs or peaks. So what do we have right here? Well, we have a drop-off and a peak in bearish momentum. And as you can see, we're followed with some bullish price action just after that. And so what's really interesting now is we're in a period of convergence where the negative momentum converges with the positive momentum, and we may be entering a new phase of bullish price action. So when you compare that and add the fact that we're actually seeing bullish volume as well, that's really nice for the overall trend and things that I really like to see overall. Now, you got to be honest too, and we got to look at the bearish perspective. And what do we have currently in this trend that is bearish? Well, we have pretty strong resistance up at about 69.70 cents coming from that SMA that has been very strong resistance historically. The other thing that I want to mention is the 4-hour chart. The 4-hour chart is somewhat bearish here. And the analogy I like to use when talking about this moving average, this white line in the middle, is it's kind of like a magnet. As you can see, each time we have very large deviations from that moving average, we usually snap back and it acts like a magnet for price. Same thing when we got overextended here. We had a regression to the mean. Now we are at a point where we haven't diverted super far from the moving average, but we've diverted enough to have a reasonable correction, at least to it. And that would be at a price of about 55 cents. The reason why I want to wait for confirmation, and I want to wait, say, probably 4 to 8 hours before an entry in this trend, is because we have that TD sequential sell 9 on the 4-hour chart. Check out what happened last time we kind of got one of these 9s. We got a red 9 down here, and it also acted as a bullish reversal. We had a bearish sell 9 at the top here. It acted as a reversal as well. Now we're seeing the same thing, and that just concerns me that before we have any bullish price in action in this thing, we might have a short-term regression to that moving average. So how do I play this? How do we go about this trade? I love the volume. I love the momentum that it's creating, but I need to see confirmation that the trend is not going to be rejected by that sell 9 on the 4-hour. And so I'm going to wait until we have a close and a candle body above that moving average, something like that. If we can get that above, say, 67 to 69 cents, I think that, yeah, we will probably trend towards $1 in the next few weeks. But I need that confirmation in the short term because I don't want to hop into a trade and just get rejected by this 9 on the 4-hour and then go back to like 54 cents. Having that extra amount of patience will help us have a better probability that the trade will go in our direction right off the bat. So I know that was really long, but that's the technicals. Just a little bit of patience. That's all.
That's perfect, because just like what CJ said at the very beginning, nothing can be construed as financial advice. So this is just financial opinion, but it's great that CJ says, be cautious, which is one of the rarest words you will ever see or hear about on YouTube Cryptoverse. No one says, well, be cautious. Everybody's like, just go out there and just dump money as much as you can, which is like the worst thing you can possibly do. So this is great. We're going to wait for some confirmation and we're going to put that into our spreadsheet. So real quick, things look good. We just have to wait a little bit, but I will say this let me share my screen. Let's take a look at REN and what's going on. Because why is this all happening? We know there's a lot of tweet volume. We know there's a lot of good sentiment. Looks like the technicals, things are going up, but why? Why right now? So we go to CoinGecko real quick. It's the fastest. I like it. 61 cents, just like what CJ was talking about. So first of all, just like CJ's like, I don't know what it is, but looks pretty good. So REN, formerly known as Republic Protocol, it originally wanted to be a dark pool decentralized exchange project. A dark pool is considered to be an exchange in which financial assets are first matched and then traded on an order book that's private. That's interesting. So what does it solve? What's the utility? The major benefits it offers the Ethereum network and DeFi sector is liquidity. Currently, there are plenty of Bitcoin sitting around users' wallets and not earning any returns. With REN VM, there's a value exchange bridge for users to convert their Bitcoin into an ERC20 token equivalent. ERC20 token representing Bitcoin is known as REN BTC and can be used on a wide selection of DeFi apps on Ethereum, which includes features like lending, borrowing, trading, and more. So sounds like it can actually has real world utility. And then to finish up, when it talks about because when I think about wrapping it, because I always think about wrapping Bitcoin and then REN BTC. So what's the difference? And I think this is going to play into people who really like privacy and don't really want to deal with KYC and stuff like that. With the REN protocol, users are not required to go through a KYC process to swap Bitcoin for REN BTC. On the other hand, BitGo, centralized custodian provider behind Wrap Bitcoin, requires users who want to wrap their Bitcoin into WBTC to undergo a KYC process. BitGo holds the private keys, and that automatically makes them a central point of failure. Conversely, for REN, Bitcoin is kept in a decentralized network of dark nodes in the REN protocol, and that helps mitigate the risk of being a central point of failure, like we've been seeing for a lot of different DeFi projects. So well, not DeFi product. That's more like rug pull type of thing. But yeah, this looks like it could be something that actually has a use. Also, for just a quick refresher, to look at their website, it's always on the very top on CoinGecko. It'll take you to their website. I like going there because it will, if it's either at the top or at the bottom, their Twitter account. So when I click on that, it'll take us to their latest Twitter or tweet posts. So what's going on with them? Well, just 23 hours ago, they did this ecosystem update. So what's so great about that? Well, just yesterday, they said, here's what's going on. The REN virtual machine and Polygon integration is live. Users can now bridge Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, DigiByte, Dogecoin, Filecoin, Terra, and Zcash to and from Polygon, which is probably going to be pretty nice and make Mark Cuban happy, because that's what he just invested heavily into. So that's always a great real world utility play. I like that. Also, dark nodes get non-fungible tokens. Dark nodes can now claim limited edition NFTs for helping power the network. So you can earn fees for running a node and get an awesome set of NFTs as well. And that's pretty much the big two things. So if you're looking at why things are going up, this could be a pretty good reason. And since we're just catching this early, just like CJ said, well, we got to wait for that confirmation and then kind of go from there. But for us, I'll wait. I got nothing but time. All right. Makes sense. Great. Let's go back and just take a look at, let's fill out the spreadsheet. So first of all, everything that we do and trade and talk about here, we try to be as transparent as possible. So we've got 3 open orders right now: Loopring, Terra, and Avalanche. Loopring was on May 11th. Does everybody remember May 11th? Well, I can tell you what happened the next day. It was the Elon bomb, where he tweeted like crazy and crashed. He didn't crash the whole market. It wasn't just Elon. It was a couple other factors. So we had a pretty good play here at 60 cents for Loopring. And in one day, it went from 60 cents to 85 cents. And did Rob sell? No, Rob did not sell. Rob bought a whopping $100 and didn't sell fast enough. And that's where I'm still holding on to it right now. And then Terra Luna, we got it on May 25th at 10:20 at 6:39. So if we can take a look at Terra Luna, if we're looking at May 25th, 6:29, somewhere around here, we got it around right here. And it went all the way up to 788. And then did Rob sell? No, Rob did not sell. 734, I still think it can go up. Rob did not sell. And then here we are. Right around here I could have. And around here I could have. And I'm still holding on to it. Why? Because I never set any kind of limits or anything like that. On top of that, what about Avalanche, our other call? Well, we had it at $19.04 on May 25th. So right around here. Actually, right between these 2 points, if I can see that. And it went up to $21.34. I don't know what these gains are, but pretty good. 20.87 cents, and so on and so forth. Did Rob sell? No, Rob did not sell. So here's the point. Here's the point of me even talking about all this stuff. First of all, like I've always said, Rob's a horrible trader, but the system is pretty sound. Trade the chain, especially with a sentiment analysis, we're showing you what could potentially go up pretty massively. We got some pretty good winners over there. For this one, I want to do something different. And we're going to wait for that confirmation. If that confirmation comes in, I'm setting my sells at a 10% profit. I'm getting out. Damn it, I'm not going to hold, because that's one of my problems. I hold a little bit too long. So I have to take off my investor hat every so often and put on my trader hat. So everybody hold me to that. When you see me tweet something, go, Rob, did you sell? Rob, did you sell? Did you sell your REN? And we go from there. Guys, any words of wisdom before we pop into the chats?
If you don't mind, I'd like to share an exit strategy, because I see criticism, and rightfully so, about the fact that we always talk about these entries, but we never talk about getting out of the trades. And so one method, especially when you have parabolic price action and you can identify an asset which is trending, this is Bollinger Bands with one standard deviation, all centered around a 20 simple period moving average. And the ways in which you can use the Bollinger Bands for trading, or the way in which it's taught, is that it's kind of counterintuitive. A lot of people try to trade in between the bands, but that's actually not the optimal strategy. The optimal strategy is to let the bands work with you and to trade the momentum. So when we have an ascending trend and we get a break above that top band, which is 1 standard deviation, that is essentially the entry to get you in the trade. Now, how do we get out of the trade? Well, how do we get out? The way we get out of the trade is when we have our first close below that top band. So if you were to go by those rules, this would have been a nice trade for you in that trending market. Same thing here. We get a break above that top band, and then the first close that we get below the top band, we automatically reverse and then bounce off of support. So when you're in trending markets and you actually get a close below those levels, it's an exit symbol. So an example here, we now have the bottom band, which is moving down. And so this candle right here, if you were trading using this strategy, would have got you in a short trade. And you would have gotten out of the short trade yesterday because we had a firm close above the lower band. So that is one exit strategy I really like to use in trending markets. It helps me be disciplined, and it also helps me get more upside as opposed to just picking a fixed number like 10% or whatever. Because the thing that I would hate is to go up like 9% gain, not sell, and then have it all go back down. So in a technical way, you can use that as like a trailing stop.
Perfect. You know what I'm going to do, CJ? I'm going to splice this piece and put it over at Dan Teaches Crypto. Just this part that you just talked about as far as exit strategy. That's really good. All right. Let's break into the comment section so Rob can get slaughtered about how bad he is at trading.
I still can't believe you're holding all those positions.
Oh, believe me. Look, you got to learn from mistakes. They don't have to be your mistakes. And okay, let's go to the top. Heck, sucks. Richard Hart as well. Geez, that's awful. Screw Ghostface. Let's see. Eddie Perez. What do you think about Ghostface? Here we go.
I see one at the top that says the chat is salty today.
It was definitely a salty chat, for sure.
It's okay. You got to remember, like I always tell, like I'm always telling my grandson, I'm like, yeah, I understand people are dealing with their own issues, whatever those are, right? Someone's late for work. Their wife yelled at them today. They're, they just stubbed their toe. They just found out that, some other problem in their family. You never know. S coin going to the moon. Crap coin going to the moon. Random tutorials. Let's see. WTF is my pick. Spence Boogie, this video sucked. How high does Ren go? $2? What CJ just said about using those Bollinger Bands just to kind of get your exit strategy out, this one could be has a pretty good amount of place to run. It just depends on, really, it depends on what's going to happen in the markets moving forward. But if we just take a look at, what happened with like the fundamentals of this ecosystem.
Well, Polygon is just, listen, they're on fire lately, especially after the whole Cuban news and stuff like that. But even before Mark Cuban stepped in, Polygon is one of those chains where it's just getting popular and popular and popular. So you have, I think Zero just implemented the bridge. You have a couple others that are implementing bridges. So it's interesting.
Yeah. So I think, we've already seen a pretty good amount of run up for Ren. Now, I think it could go a little bit higher, especially what we said. I love money. Everybody loves money, right? You know what's great about money? It gives you freedom. That's what I love about it. Not the stuff it can buy for me, just the stuff that I can do with it.
The crap coin chillers here are just in full force today.
There's so much. XRP is going to smash it. All right. That's it. No real questions, just the comments from people, which I don't blame you. Rob, you need to use Coinbase Pro and learn how to create limit orders and stop loss orders. Hit me up, I can help you. No, I got it. I'm just too lazy to do it. That's the truth. actually, with this one, actually with Terra, I actually looked at it and I was like, oh, I got to, because, you know, you can get Terra and Voyager. I was like, oh, I got to sell that. And something happened. I just didn't
Rob, that was a tough day too. That was a tough day. And Luna stood out. I remember that episode. Luna stood out on that day. Missed out.
Yeah, I missed out. But that's the thing. Like, this is the thing with trading. Like, there's these great calls, and we have great calls, you know, and we got out of a bunch of them. Like this first one, Maker, made 50% in a couple of days, 20% for Orchid. The big ones were Harmony, Waves. Yeah, Harmony, Waves, 89 and 94% in like really no time. March 18th to March 21st. Jesus. Which one was this? Storm X. Yeah, March 18th to March 21st or 19th. Yeah, 94% in a day. You can't beat that. So let that be a lesson. It doesn't matter, I mean, how great these calls are that we have. You need to set your own strategy to actually get out. So I can see that. All right. And that's where the education comes in. So if you need more education on those types of things, hit up Market Rebellion. Links in the description. And if you're looking for that sentiment analysis that Alex just did, links in the description as well. When you sign up, you get a 2 weeks. And then if you don't like it, no questions asked, money back guarantee, all that great stuff. All right. Guys, any words of wisdom before we take off?
I just wanted to say that we're continually adding those TA courses in the Market Rebellion Education Center. We just had one complete on Bollinger Bands, Keltner channels, envelopes, all things like that. And I'm working right now on a volume course. I mean, you always hear me talking about how much I love volume, but that's going to be a continually growing archive of education for you guys that you can try for just $1. So we really appreciate that. And thank you, Rob, for letting me shill that on your channel.
Also, you know, if you go over there, I love the DeFi, the free. You want to get a taste of Market Rebellion? There's a free video that Monty did on DeFi, and if that'll give you a taste. I will really enjoyed that video.
All right, awesome. Lots of free stuff. All right, everybody. So that's it for today. Thanks so much. If you liked the video, found a little value, and you're looking at hard at Ren, give it a thumbs up. Also consider subscribing. A lot of the things we talk about are time sensitive. That's why I named this thumbnail urgent, because I don't know where this price is actually going. It looks like it's going up. And if it is, probably a good idea that you watch this video. And we'll see how it all works out, because we're going to do this again in a week, and we'll see if we were right or totally wrong. And then you can all just pile on or heap on the rewards. Anyhow, that's it for today. Thanks so much. See you guys on the next one.